Welcome back to Figuring It Out, where we have real and from the heart conversations with yours truly, Agi Akomwa. I'm so excited about today's topic, and it is being forced into intimacy. Let's figure it out. Welcome back. So I have learned that one of the things or people that we take for granted are the people that we actually live under the same roof with. We never think that we need to take the extra time to get to know them. We make the assumption that just because we live in the same house that we know each other and that we know how each other, like we know how the other person feels, we know what they like, we know how they are and what kind of personalities they have. We basically just run our assumptions, and I believe that oftentimes this assumption blocks us from actually having a deep and intimate connection with the very people that we should actually be having the deepest, most stable, strongest connections with. I think that if I can be honest with you, because this is the place where we have the most real and deepest conversations, I think if I have been judged by a group of people, like maybe not even judged in a bad way, but if there's a group of people that have made assumptions about who they think I am or what they think I like, I think those assumptions have most times come from family. And I think that I am not the unique case. Because yeah, it's just human nature, or it's the easier path to go around assuming that you know somebody just because you grew up with them or you did life with them in some form or shape. Yeah, and not taking that extra time to actually say, hey, how are you? How are you feeling? Like, how are you? Like, really, like, what makes you happy? Like, what makes you sad? And it feels also a little bit unnatural sometimes in a home context to take that time to say, but how is your heart feeling? Or even sometimes, like when we hurt people, we kind of like go into that space of, come on, don't don't over dramatize it. Just, it's gonna be okay. Like families, like siblings are supposed to fight, or like couples are supposed, it's okay for couples to have differences. Don't make a big fuss about it. Don't try to sort it out, like clean it through. Like, we just, the majority of mankind just kind of like avoid digging in and getting to the bottom of things, because yeah, intimacy requires effort, right? But now we have the pandemic. The pandemic came, and we find ourselves in a state where we are, unfolding in all of our roles in the same exact square meters within our houses, right? Within the same four walls. So we are teachers, we are house helps, we are spouses, we are CEOs, but everything is happening within our four walls, and there's no room to breathe. There's no room to I don't know, be away for a while and unplug. Everything is happening in the same exact space. The cooking, the eating, the working, the nurturing, everything is happening in the same space. And I believe that it's putting a strain on so many relationships, because now the call to intimacy has become a little bit deeper. Like, the need to be more aware, more mindful of each other, more sensitive of each other's needs and each other's feelings is so much deeper. And I hope for you that you're enjoying this time. I hope for you that you're seeing this as a gift, and that you're pressing in and really trying to hear and listen to your loved ones that you live with, that you share your space with, and that you don't feel tired or exhausted or just in a space where you feel like I need to breathe, leave me alone, you know, but that you're pressing in and that you are building those relationships. And today I came with a framework that I would like to share, that I think if you're very intentional about it and you use it at the dinner table, that you will find yourselves learning more about each other and moving away from assuming that you know to actually pressing into intentionally beginning to know, because you're intentionally asking the right questions, or you're intentionally listening and yeah, like realizing and accepting this person that is in front of you and what they're sharing with you, accepting it as their truth, accepting it as who they are, and you know what they are and what they stand for. And this framework is just really a couple of icebreakers, or just a couple of statements which serve as a bond, right? So if you think of a drumstick, these questions or these statements serve as a bond. And basically when you make that statement and you keep quiet and you let the person put some flesh and some context around it, you will be surprised at how much you will learn about each other that you did not know before. So bond number one is a statement like, I react positively on ... right? So if I was sitting in front of my husband and we were doing this exercise, then I would say something like, baby, I react positively on being caressed or being touched or being looked straight in the eye when we have a conversation, or I react positively on just being able to sit down and have a quiet meal with you and enjoy my evening after work with you, or I react positively on you taking out the rubbish bin, or I react positively on, it could even be very simple things like how you press the toothpaste tube, right? If you've been married for a while, you know that couples sometimes have misunderstandings over the most stupid stuff. So this space, this time of, you know, practicing these bonds and putting some flesh around it is a great opportunity to, yeah, open up about those little thingies, you know. Yeah, I think in Luganda they say your little bulombolombos, yeah, those little things that are so weird about you that if you never tell anyone, nobody will ever know, because yeah, God hides our hearts and our weirdness until we feel vulnerable enough to open up about it. So another thing could be, another bond is I react negatively on ... right? So then you would get to know what rubs the person the wrong way. So it could be something like, I react negatively on untidy places, right? Or in the workplace, I know, for instance, that I react very negatively on people politics. I also react very negatively on blame games. I react negatively on loud music early in the morning. In the morning, I really need my quiet, gentle time. So when you share such things, then it helps your partner or the person that you're doing life with to know you a little bit better, and therefore to also be mindful of how they do life with you, how they share your living space with you, so that you're happy and they're happy and you're both happy together. Another great bond is saying something like, people say I'm strong in ... right? Why is this so important? Because when we go to work, we get the opportunity to shine a completely different way. When we go to school, we get the opportunity to unfold in a completely different way that our parents and our siblings and our spouses might not be able to see. So it's nice to come back home and say, hey, you know what? People at school say I'm good at XYZ, and this will help your partner or your family to see you in a completely different light, to know of those capabilities that you have that do not always get the, the spotlight or the moment to shine in the home space. So it could be things like, people say I'm great on communicating, or people say I'm great at drawing, people say I'm great at singing, or people say I'm funny, and things like that. And that would help your family and your loved ones to know you a little bit better. Then there are also, I think this one is so central, the statement, the bond, that I excel when. I excel, for instance, when I can have my quiet time, then I excel. I excel when I'm able to exercise. I excel when I have the freedom to socialize, for instance. I excel when I, take a nice long bath and or when I go to bed at 10 p.m. or when I disengage from electronics by 10 p.m. There are all kinds of things that you can come up with that makes you excel. You excel, for instance, when you listen to a certain type of music, or when you are encouraged and believed in, or when you are supported by, say, the person showing up for you. These are things that you can openly share with your partner, so that, or your family, or you even leave room, open up the floor for your children to share with you, so that you can know what they need in order to blossom, and that you can make that possible for them to the best of your ability. You're never responsible for another person's happiness. This is something they have to choose for themselves, but then you can be a great enabler of those things that help them to blossom. So another one is, my interests are, dot, dot, dot. So if I take myself as an example, I love art, I love drawing, I love music, I love cooking, and especially the part about serving the food and just admiring the colors and, putting a nice, plate together, like, where the meal or the serving is so beautiful that you almost do not want to eat it, this makes me really happy. So, if you share this about yourself, then your partner will not find it weird why you photograph every meal that you make, because you have opened up to them, because you have let them see you at a deeper level, and that you can also do that for them. So, friends, I wanted to share those bonds, or that framework, and I want to encourage you to go back into your homes and do this exercise with your children. Do this exercise with your partners, and move away from assuming and move into a place of active listening and just intentional wanting to know the people that you're doing life with a little bit better, wanting to know what their interests are, wanting to know what they're interested in, like what helps them excel, what rubs them the wrong way. I don't remember the song, but I don't know if it was Joe or Lionel Richie. I think it was Joe who said, I want to know what makes you, I want to know what makes you cry, so that I can be the one to make you smile, or something like that. Let's move away from making assumptions about people, assuming that we know them just because we live with them, and let's make that intentional choice to listen in, to lean in, to connect, to find that place of deep intimacy. I think that the pandemic gives us a great opportunity, because we've never been tied to our homes like we have been now, and it's so many hours that we spend with each other, and we can use that opportunity to tickle some more information out of each other and connect on a much, much deeper level. Please do this with your kids. Please do this with your parents. If you're living with your parents, do this with your siblings. Get to know each other and connect deeply. It works if both parties are willing, so it's never a one way. But I hope for you that you can do this. I hope you're watching this episode with your mom or with your sibling or with your husband, and that you can turn and look at each other right after this video and say, hey, tell me, what do you react negatively on, or what do you react positively on, or what are you really truly interested in, or what really makes your heart sing? Yeah, that you may get to know each other and connect. I always like to say that just because a person goes to church doesn't mean that they have a deep, meaningful, intimate relationship with God. And that also means that just because people live in the same house doesn't mean that they are deeply connecting. Connecting is intentional. Intimacy is intentional. So I hope that you choose intimacy. I hope you have these deep conversations, and I hope you really listen in, and that you honor and treasure the outcomes of that conversation. Yeah, and that you experience the deepest possible level of intimacy after doing this extremely simple exercise. May God bless you. Thank you for your time, and see you again in my next episode next week. Bye-bye.